Were you carrying a gun then too?
Yeah, I stayed strapped. I mean, I'm strapped right now.
Why would you even say that? This person is a fake tough guy, fake gangster. Ain't no real gangster gonna say that they really strapped, or they're not gonna say whether they strapped or not. Didn't you say real G's move in silence? You know, I'm really of the belief that this person could have been cloned, which is why the story is told in many different variations. There's many different tales to this bullshit story. It's a lie, man. This person, Lil Wayne, around this time, he was telling this story to brand build himself. You know, it was popping to make it seem as if he was some sort of tough guy and he was a soldier. He shot himself in the chest and it came out his back because he a soldier. Bunch of bullshit.
Like, you can't go nowhere not strapped. That's life. But now I have a bigger and better reason to be strapped, so.
And look at the all black. The all black represents the initiation process in regards to him becoming a witch. You see the interviewer in the all black and you see him in the all black. He was already an initiate around this time.
Did you shoot yourself with a gun at one point?
Yeah, I was full of weed, tripping young, playing with it, didn't.
He said he was full of weed. He didn't say that in no other rendition of him telling his story. So it's many different holes to this bullshit brand builder type of story.
Know that. See, I didn't know that. When you take the clip out the gun, if you cocked it, one is already in the chamber. I didn't know it had been cocked.
Oh, wow.
So I'm just like playing, like some, you know. I ain't know though, but yeah, that was crazy. Yeah.
Where'd you hit yourself?
The chest
Let's
was
see.
there.
Wow.
Came out through the back.
Man.
Cool though. I'm a soldier. It's gravy. That's why I know that. So if I survive that, and then I'm surviving everything that's going on around me and that went on around me, I was put here for a reason. So now I'm gonna make these platinum plaques and I'm gonna teach the game.
It's important for us to understand that these rappers, they brand build themselves because it's all formulaic and they're influencers. That's why Lil Wayne raps about what he raps about. Lil Wayne immersed himself in something that's dark and sinister. And it's all based in deception when it comes to what they convey to the masses. So you gotta see through all this bullshit, man. You gotta see through all of this bullshit. Once again, the man says, I'm strapped right now. I thought real G's move in silence. That was all for him to brand build himself as some sort of gangster, some tough guy. And like I said, the all black representing the initiation process. A Saturnian, a witch. That's what the fuck he is. That's what he's been. And he's someone that's been through the programming. I'm sure he had to go through some sort of trauma to the point where, you know, it's one of those things where if you was in or around this person or in his retinue, in his circle, you feel for him. Because I'm sure this person's been put through many, many different rituals when it comes to the molestation, when it comes to the trauma, the torture, so on and so forth. You can tell. You can look at this person and tell when it comes to Lil Wayne. But let's get more into it.
Oh no, this is a mental health issue.
Once my thoughts got radical and got, you know, to where you got to stop yourself and stop impulsing and say, what did you just think again? Or even if you cried yourself to sleep with that thought on your mind and wake up the next day and be like, I cannot believe I was thinking like that.
Thoughts like what?
Thoughts like killing yourself.
So now it's thoughts like killing yourself. Now it's attempted suicide. At first, it was about just you playing with a gun and you was full of weed and you shot yourself. Now it's attempted suicide. Why is it that? Because based off of the agenda that's at hand, he has to align himself with it when it comes to this narrative. I believe this person never shot himself. I believe that this is all based off of brand building. That's all this is. And if he did shoot himself, he probably was killed and cloned because this person, as far as like what we see now, is a lot different from the person that we saw when it comes to his inception. And I know people change and this and that, but it's kind of similar to like Eminem. Like, it's my belief that the Eminem now is not the Eminem of old. That's just my belief. And yes, cloning is a real thing. Cloning is a real thing. Look at Gucci Mane. And look at Hopsin. Hopsin even told you what it was. Hopsin even told you what it was. And when it comes to Gucci Man, the quote unquote fake Gucci Man, that's not necessarily a clone. That's just Hopsin. That's Hopsin. But let's get more into this Lil Wayne narrative because this person is a liar. He exposed himself. And I'm going to prove that when it comes to just the overall duration of this video. So please stick with it, and I hope you guys enjoy this. So let's go more into it.
You thought about killing yourself.
Well, actually, when I was 12 years old, school year was kind of ending. So what the school was doing was they was giving us half days on a Thursday and a Friday. Yeah, it may have been a Wednesday as well, but what I would do was just tell my mom that I only had a half a day on one of those days. So therefore, I stayed out the rest of the whole day, just like it was a full day. She found out. And so when I got home, on that thing, it was that Friday, whatever, got home, got a phone call from my aunt, was like, she found out, boy, you about to get your ass kicking. All that rapping and all that, she about to take that rap folder, she about to throw that shit away, she about to, and I was like, wow, so all that had built up to me. So that was a build up. I just listened to her, listened to my aunt, like, I hear you. Cause she was, she was like, boy, you about to get your ass. She get home, your mama takes. So she actually said, she was like, she's taking off. Hung up the phone, thoughts everywhere, thoughts everywhere. Main thought was, I'm gonna show you.
What are you going to show her? What are you going to show her? You're going to kill yourself because your mom found out that you lied to her about staying out long? Doesn't really make real sense. That was enough for you to want to kill yourself. It's kind of a thing of, well, I'm going to get to myself before she get to me. I'm going to show her. Doesn't make real sense, especially when you consider the fact that in another segment they told this story in regards to him shooting himself in a whole different fashion on Behind the Music. He said the cop name was Uncle John, but in later years he said it was Uncle Bob. He said that he was listening to I Love It When You Call Me Big Papa, but in this segment he says he's listening to One More Chance. So like, what was it really? What really happened? Because there's many different holes to this bullshit story, man. You want to kill yourself because your mom said that she was going to whip your ass because you lied to her? And I understand it could be more to that, but it's one of those things where it's like, you're not really selling me. You're not really selling me on this, Lil Wayne. You're not really selling me on this. And it's bullshit. You got to see through all this stuff. And the reason why I say you got to see through all this stuff is because in other interviews, he tells a whole different story. He says a whole different cop name. It's like, bro, you got to see through this shit, bro. This person is a liar. This person is a brand builder. This person is an influencer. He's used. And this is why they push themselves as such. Because it's meant for them to have people look at them in awe. That's what it is. And a lot of motherfuckers be so gullible that they attach themselves to these people. This person, Lil Wayne, is nothing but a motherfucking Luciferian. That's all he is. And a deceiver, a Saturnian. That's all he is.
Main thought was, I'm gonna show you.
What were you gonna show her?
So I picked up the phone. I called the police. Yes, I knew where she kept her gun. And it was in her bedroom.
You see, on Behind the Music, he doesn't say it. He doesn't say that, he doesn't say this, excuse me. On Behind the Music, he said that he shot himself and then he managed to call the police somehow. He had blood all over the phone and whatnot. But in this segment, he said that he called the police before he attempted to shoot himself. So it's still not adding up. This is what makes me believe that this person could have been cloned. And the cloning didn't, it wasn't strong enough to the degree where, it would make you think that this is the same person. It's kind of like a whole different person. Because there's other interviews where Lil Wayne is being told by like a fan, his lyrics, and Lil Wayne cannot remember the lyrics. So it's like, and this is currently. So this makes me believe that this person could have been cloned and it wasn't strong enough. And yes, cloning is a real thing, especially in the industry. Not just music, entertainment overall. Cloning is a real thing.
And so I went in the bedroom, grabbed the gun. I already made the phone call. Looked in the mirror, did like that.
You see how he said looked in the mirror and did like that, like it was some movie shit? He's trying to sell you on this shit with how he's detailing it, with fake details. You're giving niggas fake details because in another interview you told a totally different story, bro. And it's crazy because it's like they should already know that they fucking themselves up by doing this. Like you told a whole different story. You know that it's there. So why not make sure that you cover your bases by telling the same story? Why tell a whole different story? All you doing is exposing yourself. That's all you doing. This was around the time that mental health, the whole mental health topic was hot. So he just anonymized himself with the whole mental health topic. And he was used pretty much in the same way with the whole Black Lives Matter movement by saying, well, I never experienced racism because a white cop saved me when I could have died and this and that. Like, bro, this dude is being used to match these agendas when it comes to pretty much pulling at the heartstrings of fake ass fans so people can have sympathy for this dude. It's like, bro, at first it was, well, I'm a gangster, so I shot myself because I was playing with the gun. Then it was, I shot myself and this cop could have saved me. Now it's, I shot myself because I wanted to, kill myself. So what the fuck is it, bro? What was it, bro? What is it?
Of course, it was like, oh no. Cause I got a little too scared. That was my head. Like, no. But then I said, okay. Biggie was on. I'm looking in the mirror, so you could look through the mirror, and the television was behind me. So I was watching the video through the mirror. One More Chance was on, and I think Biggie was already gone or something.
Nah, Biggie was not already gone. This happened in 1994, allegedly. Biggie was still alive. Even Tupac was still alive. If this happened in 94, Biggie died in 97. So yes, Biggie was still alive. Biggie was not gone around this time. So this is how you know that this person, man, this person is making this shit up, man. He made this story up. And when it comes to them fake ass bullet wounds, anybody could just apply some fake ass bullet wounds on somebody's skin, man. Come on.
So I was just looking and it was like, you know what? Start thinking again, I had to get myself mad and notice that I didn't have to. That's what scared me. How I know I had mental health problems was I pulled the trigger.
Now you want to make this a mental health thing. When you first started out telling this story, the first time we ever heard you tell this story, you was a gangster. You was playing with the gun. You was full of weed. And now it's a mental health thing. And then when you go to the behind the music element, he talks about how it was a cop named Uncle John that saved him. But then when you go to the Black Lives Matter element where he's telling his story, now it's a cop named Uncle Bob. Was it Uncle John or Uncle Bob? Was it One More Chance or was it Big Papa? Which one was it, bro? That's why these people you cannot put too much stock into. You cannot take these people serious. You cannot. It's important for us to understand these people, they're meant to deceive you. They dealing in a world where they operate on deception. If you're a rapper, an entertainer, a celebrity, you operate in a world where it's meant for you to deceive people. You don't operate in a genuine, sincere world. Everything about this world is based in deception. And when it comes to the upper levels of society, entertainment industry, it's revolved around that. It's like the hub of this world, the entertainment industry, or just celebrities in general. They're the hub of this world. You know what I mean? Like the people that push all this shit, the public figures, the prominent figures, they're the hub of this world. We should not put no stock in these people, but they're the hub of this world because they're meant to influence people. That's why people turn on the news and shit like that. And the news is just a part of it. The news is a part of the hub of this world, the entertainment industry. That's why people watch TV. That's why people put their stock in what they see on TV so much. But you cannot do that. You got to change your perception of how you view things. You got to change your outlook and look at things from a purely, pragmatic perspective so you can really understand a real skinny about this world and what's going on in this falsehood of a world, this Luciferian, nefarious world. But let's continue on with this segment or this coverage.
At the age of 12, Lil Wayne was already immersed in the chaotic and combustible world of the New Orleans streets. But on the afternoon of November 11th, 1994, his curiosity would have dire consequences.
Where did it happen?
I was like, I think I was 14.
Oh.
And I was in
Notice he said he was 14. But in the segment you just saw, it said he was 12. And in other interviews, he said he was 12. But in this segment, he said he was 14. So this is another hole in this story in regards to the deception behind, whether Lil Wayne shot himself or not, or what actually occurred. Because it's something that could have been bigger than him getting shot, or something more deeper in regards to the Luciferian angle.
Crib in the house, yeah, I was watching. I could remember it was Notorious Big video on. I love it when you call me Big Pop. Yeah.
Well, it was said that he shot himself in 1994. The video for Notorious B.I.G.'s "I Love It When You Call Me Big Papa" didn't come out to January 1995. So that right there is another hole. And he also said this in another interview where he was like, it was a Biggie Smalls song playing, but he said that it was One More Chance. He didn't say that it was Big Papa. So there's so many holes to this shit. And he also said that he believed Biggie was gone around the time. Biggie died in 1997. So it's like, what the hell is Lil Wayne talking about? Or is this the real Lil Wayne? Could this be another person that was just cloned and replaced? Because, like I said, I don't know if I touched on it, but when you look at certain interviews with Lil Wayne now, it seems as if he forgets certain things about, what took place early on in his career. There was an interview where a fan was rapping his lyrics and he couldn't remember the lyrics. So it was just kind of like, something that was weird to me. But let's just go more into this, because this is definitely a nefarious angle to this story. This is something that's definitely deceptive.
I remember that. You dig? And my ass was trying to be hard, looking in the mirror, tripping. You dig? And it went off, and when it went off, I guess I woke up to the knocks of the police at the door.
Wow.
And so, but I was in my mom's room, and I was kind of far from the door. You know what I mean? That was another room. You know what I mean?
The funny thing is, there's another interview, and I'm going to touch on it later, where he explains it, but he says that he was close to the door. So in this interview, he says that he was far from the door, but in another interview, he says he's close to the door. In the Behind the Music segment, it said he slid on his own blood, and the cops jumped over him, and this and that. It's just so much bullshit to this story, man, but we're going to get more into it, especially this angle of the Biggie Smalls song, because he says that it was Big Papa, but then he says it was One More Chance. So what song was it? But let's just get into the context in regards to the release history or the release date of the music video for Big Papa, because the music video was released in 95. It was not released in 94. So this right here is the release info for the music video for Big Papa. This was released in January 1995. Lil Wayne, when it comes to that alleged situation that occurred, that situation happened on November 11th, 1994. So obviously the person was lying. Lil Wayne was lying about the Big Papa music video being played. He was lying about a lot of things when it comes to him shooting himself. November 11, 11/11. We already understand what that represents. So that probably was a date that they just made up because they understand the significance behind the numbers 11/11, right? So it's important for us to understand in this world, it's all about the nefarious aspect. It's all about when it comes to these people who influence the masses, they have to brand build themselves. So it can, pretty much aid in the success of this celebrity to the point where, they become a megastar, such as a Lil Wayne.
4 New Orleans policemen responded to the call, including an off-duty officer known as Uncle John.
Went over to the address, 3409 Monroe Street. We started checking the apartments, and when we got to his apartment, all we could hear was loud music.
I guess something clicks in your head and told me go to the living room. He picked me up and he told whoever was driving, he's like, behind the wheel now. Looking up at him like, who are you? He said, I'm Uncle John. That's what he told me his name was, Uncle John.
So this right here was around a time where Lil Wayne was pretty much, in alignment with what was going on with the Black Lives Matter movement around 2016. The reason why I say in alignment with, I'm just speaking of him, coinciding with the storyline in regards to him playing a role of controlled opposition. or just being a buffer between, you know, what was going on when it comes to the agenda that was being pushed. This whole black versus police thing and this whole racism thing. And they try to push that so heavy. And they pay certain, you know, people to be opposition or to play the role of an opposition. This is why the story of him shooting himself changed so much when it comes to him telling it just based off of how it fit the overall agenda at hand. So he tell his story in a different way from when he told it on Behind the Music. He even uses a different name for the cop. This is how you know that he lies about this situation. This is a whole lie. This is bullshit. And it's only meant to brand build this person. So he says that, you know, he never experienced racism because a white cop killed him. It's all bullshit, man. It's all bullshit, and it's meant to aid in the narrative at hand. Just like years later, it turned into a mental health thing. So it's like, what is this, man?
At the age of 12 years old, I shot myself. I was in the house. Police knocked on the door. I was right there. They knocked the door down. Everybody jumped over my body to go get the guns and drugs and whatever they could find. It took one guy to stop right there and cuss everybody that hopped over me out. Like, what the f*** are y'all doing? They say, oh, no, we was gonna see if it, what the f*** are y'all doing? We called the ambulance. A ambulance, do you not see this kid on the floor with this hole in his chest? Say, you drive, pick me up, brought me to the hospital. He didn't drop me off at the ambulance and say, you take him. He brought me to the hospital room and made two and stood there and waited till the doctor said he's gonna make it.
This is all just trying to add barbecue sauce to a story. That's all this is about. This is all trying to add barbecue sauce to a story. He's good at telling stories in a way where he try to make it more than what it is. Like, he does that a lot with many different interviews. Lil Wayne do this a lot. He's an ultimate deceiver. Most of these entertainers, they're deceivers. All of them. But this person is lying about this story. He's spicing the story up. That's all this is. You can tell. Like, I can tell when somebody is trying to, like, bubble up a story and make it seem more than what it is. And you can tell that that's what he's doing right now. He's trying to pretty much praise, like, add more praise, undue praise on the person that saved him, allegedly, when it comes to the fake story. Like, he's trying to butter up like, make it more of a sugary thing with this person, like, just trying to sugarcoat it and make it seem as if this person was the perfect person, like the perfect, you know, American citizen. Let's not just leave this person here. I'm gonna drive him to the hospital instead. Like, all this bullshit. It's bullshit, man.
He said, don't worry, my name's Uncle Bob. He was white as snow. Them that hopped over me was blacker than me.
You see, that's that divide type of rhetoric there. That's to let you know that he was playing the role of opposition. That didn't even have to be said, but he said that for a reason, to spark a reaction out of people. That's what this is about, man. You have to get with it and understand what these people be used for. He said this just to spark a reaction, and that's what he got. Oh, Lil Wayne this, Lil Wayne is a pawn, Lil Wayne is a coon, Lil Wayne this. That's what people were saying after he said this. A lot of simple-minded motherfuckers don't understand what this world is really about. You got to see the patterns and what they do in this shit, the mechanisms.
Was he a cop?
Yeah, he was a cop, and my life was saved by a white man. I don't know what racism is.
You see how he continues to keep emphasizing the white aspect? He was white as snow. The motherfuckers that jumped over me was blacker than me. I got saved by a white man. This is how you know that this person was used to push this nonsense, especially in the event that he tells a story of him getting shot in a different way. So it's like, bro, what are you? What the fuck are you? And notice, like, he calls the man Uncle Bob. Uncle means master. So what was this person really? This person was a handler, I believe, for Lil Wayne. That's who that person was. That person was a handler for Lil Wayne, the person that died. The quote-unquote cop that died. And then again, he said that the man's name was Uncle John. He said his name was Uncle John. Like, nobody even addressed that. When it comes to this bullshit story revolved around Lil Wayne, it's like, wait, didn't you call him Uncle John on the Behind the Music segment? Like, this is how you know that they all in league with this shit. When it comes to these people that got to be brand builded, they already know. The people that interview, they already know what they really about. They just gotta act like they don't, so it can be expressed to the masses that this is something that's authentic, but it's not. It's bullshit. So let's get more into it.